Michigan fans, Michigan women's hockey is live and on the air in a special edition as they host Michigan State, the Spartans. And how about we play a little bit of the Victors and the MSU fight song? And they're actually starting just a little bit early, so we're going to flip over to the public address announcer. See if we can hear it. Leonard skates out at the starting lineup. Daniel skates out. Menzer comes out to the starting line. Miller comes out to the blue line starting for the Spartans. McPherson comes out starting for the Spartans. Maddox starting for the Spartans, who skates out. And head coach Rob Blackburn for Michigan. As Rubin skates out to the blue line starting for Michigan. Gargiulo starting for Michigan. Evans skates out to the blue line, and we're going to have a Spartan Wolverine at the red line. Next coming out is McCarthy for Michigan. As next coming out is Levinson. And Conniff skating out for Michigan starting, and everyone is going to be, again, Spartan Wolverine in a show of solidarity. And we will have a moment of silence, and let me pull this up for the victims, as it's a senseless act of violence that occurred on the Michigan State campus last week, traumatized the community. The 3 young lives we lost on Monday, Ariel Anderson, Brendan Frazier, and Alexandria Werner. We were the cherished friends, family, peers, and neighbors of Spartans and Wolverines alike. We'd like to honor their lives and all Spartans who suffered through this trauma with a moment of silence. So our competition today represents the Spartans' resolve and love for their community. As Wolverines, we stand side by side with our Spartan sisters, offering our love and support in this difficult time. We play in reverence of these student athletes, the entire Michigan State community, and for the end of gun violence across America. Let today's game be a moment of collective healing through the sport we love, And thank you all for being here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the playing of the national anthem. As we'll talk about a number of the different things done in the wake of the tragedy last Monday, a number of things, including this starting here where both Wolverines and Spartans ended up on the red line, the center line together, showing a wonderful sense of community in the horror of the senseless actions that happened on Monday, that we are rivals, but we are also together as a single community. And what a wonderful way to show that. And there will be different items throughout today as all of the money collected at the door is going to the Spartan Strong organization, the Spartan Strong fundraiser that's happening, as well as, if I can pull it up here, all of the Michigan Wolverines are wearing a sticker on the back of their helmets that have the Spartan logo in a green heart, showing our symbol of our community and trying to band together in the wake of senseless tragedy. As we are getting ready for some hockey, we'll talk about these two teams more at the next intermission. 19-4-2 Michigan taking on 8-11-2 Michigan State Spartans. And this is a huge game for both teams, but especially the Spartans, who are playing for their playoff lives at this point, trying to get into the third spot in the CCWHA playoffs. As the puck gathered up Daniels down the far boards as Levinson trying to chip it away into the Michigan zone. That on the near circle. Gargiulo brings it back behind Pontiff. Coming down over along the near boards. Now fired through the neutral zone. Rubin picks it up down the near boards. Rubin into the Spartan zone, into the near corner. Rubin back behind the Michigan State goal. Picked up, fired around by McPherson back to the near point. Trying to hold it in is McCarthy. That puck all the way back into the Michigan zone. Racing back to get it, Levinson trying to peel it away from Leonard. Leonard puts it right back behind, and there is a penalty upcoming. Interference called. That is at 19:25. And a penalty as Evans goes into the box for interference. Michigan will be on the penalty kill as Spartans have the first power play of the game. Let's see if we can try and adjust the scoreboard here. As that puck comes right back behind in along the near boards of the Michigan zone. Leonard trying to hold it in as the puck comes right back behind the Michigan goal outside the near circle. Trying to bring it over is Santi. Santi centering attempt. There's a shot by Nelson that comes all the way outside the near circle, bringing it ahead. That fired all the way down the ice, right back behind the Spartan goal as Leonard chips it right to her blue line. Picking it up, coming down the far boards is Leonard. Leonard brings it ahead for the Spartans, top of the far circle, into the far corner of the Michigan zone. Now Santi has it at the far point. That fired deep. Back in along the near boards. Fired ahead by Michigan as they clear it all the way down the ice. 1 minute, 12 seconds left to go. In the Spartan power play, 18:33 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Intercepted. Kolwich with a shot. And is deflected and up. Out of play. Face-off is going to be in the near face-off circle in the Spartan zone. That is to the left of Maddox. As Matthews taking the face-off for Michigan versus Daniels. That collected and fired around by Menzer underneath the far circle in the Spartan zone. McPherson throws it over. Now Daniels fires it through the neutral zone. Kolwich banks it off the far boards for Michigan. Michigan trying to come down the ice. That pulled away. Campbell sends it right to the Michigan blue line. Gargiulo has it there. Gargiulo fires it down the far boards all the way back deep into the Spartan zone. 35 seconds left to go in the Michigan State power play. 17:56 left to go here in the first period. Scoreless so far. That brought ahead. Santi gets it to the Michigan blue line. Then that fired all the way back by Levinson to the Spartan blue line. Battle for it. Lindahl chip back into the neutral zone. Michigan offsides the call. As Malashevsky just couldn't get back on side, so we'll have a face-off in the near face-off circle just outside of the Spartan zone with 15 seconds left to go. Matthews in to take the face-off versus Nelson. 13 in the beginning of the season was Flazar, and Flazar is now a Michigan student and will play with the Michigan team next season. So Nelson now number 13. That puck in the far corner, just another instance of how connected these communities are. The puck, high slot, is that shot out in front as Siciliano had a great shot from the high slot. There's a shot and a save by Ponin. 17-17 left to go. Michigan back to full strength. Face-off in the Michigan zone. That'll be in the far face-off circle to the left of Ponith. As that puck trying to pull it away, Matthews, and Ponith covers it up. Scoreless so far here from Yost Ice Arena. We are in the early moments. 17-13 left to go here in the first. Face off in the Michigan zone. That pull by Katie German back behind Ponith into the near corner. Now coming down the near boards. And fired ahead. Matthews comes down the near boards, backhands it deep into the Spartan zone. As that covered up by Maddox, as it deflected off the boards, came right to the near side of the cage and able to cover it up as Maddox, not wanting to avoid an early bad bounce. 16:58 left to go here in the first. Malashevsky in to take the faceoff versus Daniels in the near faceoff circle. Now Swanson with the shot all the way into the far corner. Novell chips it ahead. Menzer gets it out into the neutral zone. The puck in along the near boards. Bringing it ahead is McCarthy, who feeds it into the Spartan zone. Lindahl trying to pull it away as that puck loose. Now here comes Menzer down the far boards. Gets it into the neutral zone. And pulled away right at the Michigan blue line. Tipped in along the near boards. Here comes Swanson for Michigan. Swanson gains the Spartan zone. Puts it into the near corner of the Spartan end. And pull back away. Novell gets it outside the near circle as it floats back into the neutral zone. Forehand fires it. That intercepted by Siciliano as she fires it deep into the Michigan zone. Forehand has it underneath the near circle, trying to avoid pressure by Daniels. Here comes Rubin down the near boards. Rubin gains the Spartan zone. Rubin gets it over Gargiulo, and puck wouldn't settle down for Gargiulo. She has it outside the far circle in the Spartan zone. There's a shot that just goes wide to the near corner from Evans. Evans fed that out. Kolwich from the high slot. That shot deflects into the near corner. Pulled back behind, sent in along the near boards by McPherson. The puck comes right back behind the Spartan goal. Now Daniels has it. Daniels fires it all the way down the ice. Ricochets off the far boards. That'll be into the Michigan zone, and that will be icing. 15:33 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Face-off will come back into the Spartan zone. That will be in the far face-off circle, then to the right of Maddox. as Matthews in to take the faceoff versus Daniels comes into the slot. The Spartans feed it to their own blue line. Izzy Germer retreats into the neutral zone for Michigan. That knocked away as coming over, tipped back by Poneth in along the far boards as Nelson trying to get to it as the puck right to the far point in the Michigan zone. Now right back to the Michigan blue line. Izzy German feeds ahead for Proctor. Proctor backhands it deep into the Spartan zone. Right back behind Maddox. Novell has it in the far corner of her own zone. Novell trying to get it out of the zone. Proctor chips it right back. Now Triolet fires it down the far boards into the neutral zone. Sent right back by Bryce, but tipped away. Now the puck in along the near boards. Simmer trying to get to it. That comes right back to center ice. Fired deep by Izzy German as the puck comes outside the far circle. Swanson trying to get to it, but the puck wouldn't settle down. Now Malashevsky outside the far circle. Centering attempt got deflected off of his skate as here comes Mickelson. Mickelson down near the near board. Santi fires it deep as Poneth covers it up. 14:33 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far between Michigan and Michigan State. Final game of the regular season, and Michigan State with a win would make the third spot in the CCWHA playoffs. Michigan firmly in the second spot in the East Pod. They will play Grand Valley State in the opening round of the CCWHA playoffs. Michigan State, if they win, would be able to play, as that goes all the way back, they would end up playing Miami, University of Miami, in the first round. If Michigan wins, it would be University of Michigan Dearborn who would go to the CCWHA playoffs. We'll talk more about that at the second intermission, but lots and lots to play for, not the least of which trying to win the final game of the regular season. Face-off in the near face-off circle as that puck, Santi, into the near corner outside the near circle. Santi with it for the Spartans. That all the way top of the far circle for McPherson. Shot just goes wide to the far side. As McCarthy sends it down the near boards, that gathered up as Menderfield trying to get to it. Menderfield lost the glove. Now coming ahead, here comes Lindahl. Lindahl on the near circle of the Spartan zone. Lindahl with a shot. Oh, I think that caught the far post as Levinson fires it back, right back behind the Michigan State's goal. Into the near corner. Spartans bring it ahead. Down the near board. Santi fires it to the Michigan blue line. Now Katie German feeds it down the far boards. And lifted ahead by Levinson and up into the benches. We'll have a face-off. That'll be, where are they going to put it? Right at center ice. 13:37 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far between Michigan and Michigan State. Gargiulo in to take the face-off versus Daniels as that puck sent to the Michigan blue line. Now down the far boards, Evans trying to get it into the Spartan zone. Here comes Gargiulo on the far circle. Gargiulo trying to backhand it, and a shot by Evans, saved by Maddox. The puck on the far circle. Michigan controls, sends it back to the far point. Katie German fires it deep. That goes right back behind the Spartan goal. Triolet sends it along the near boards, picked up by Leonard outside the near circle. And the Spartans get it all the way back to center ice. Forehand. Feeds it ahead. That tipped but intercepted by Dewar right in front of her own goal. Dewar banks it off the near boards as that goes right to the Michigan blue line. Forehand sends it down the near boards. Leonard has it at her own blue line. Leonard for the Spartans drifts back into her own zone. Now comes up, and that tip deep into the Michigan zone as Daniels got his stick on it. Forehand right back behind Poneth in the Michigan end. That's centered up. Here comes Simmer for Michigan over her own blue line. Simmer gets over center ice, dumps it deep into the Spartan zone, into the near corner. Siciliano has it there. Siciliano trying to get it out of the zone. Simmer trying to center it. Good poke check by the Spartans. And now Michigan centering it right into the low slot. Nelson pulls it away down the far boards. Proctor tips it. Proctor has it top of the far circle. Proctor into the far corner battling with Novell. Proctor gets it to Kolwich. That shot went off of Campbell's skates as that puck lifted all the way down the ice. Right to the Michigan blue line. Michigan chips it ahead as here comes Swanson. Swanson gains the Spartan zone. Swanson outside the far circle. Centering attempt trying to get it to Lindahl. That goes right back behind Maddox outside the near circle. Kolwich trying to drive it deep. Now Lindahl trying to pull it off of the near boards. Still battling a quartet of players. Michigan and Michigan State on the near boards. Nelson takes it back behind her own goal and feeds it down the far boards. Swanson putting it right back into the far corner. Now Dewar pushes it along the near boards. Campbell outside the near circle in the Spartan zone. Centering attempt that picked up. Now coming the other direction is Anderson for the Spartans. Here comes Michigan State over center ice. Nelson with a shot that moved over. Saved by Poneth. Kolwich picks it up and fires it down the near boards to Lindahl. Lindahl has that poked away by Novell. Novell starts the Spartan rush the other way into the Michigan zone. Novell outside the near circle. Novell trying to fire it through the slot. Fire into that one. Shot just went wide. As it was a good job to feed a Spartan who was just on the inner corner of the far circle. Now Novell has it top of the near circle coming in. Shot Poneth with the save. 10:58 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far between Michigan and Michigan State. Good crowd here. Lots of Spartans, lots of Wolverines, and we are glad to have a lot of people watching these two wonderful groups of athletes. Great job showing their support for their universities and their community. Izzy German fires it all the way around the boards as Evans trying to get it out, held in by Leonard, and shot on the far circle and a save. As Daniels got it, fired at Poneth with another save. Spartans with some good early pressure. 10:49 left to go here in the first, scoreless so far. Daniels versus Gargiulo in the far circle. And puck fired right back behind Poneth into the near corner, pulled away by Izzy German. Izzy German trying to get it ahead. The puck right at the near point and all the way back to the Spartan blue line. Siciliano gets it to Daniels down the far boards of the neutral zone. And in along the end boards of the Michigan zone, Levinson has it there, trying to avoid pressure by a pair of Spartans. Now Rubin down the near boards of her own zone, then trying to send it deep as Menzer. Rubin at her own blue line, fires it down the far boards. Here comes Evans. Evans, top of the far circle. Evans into the far corner. Evans trying to pull it back behind. Fires it out in front, and that just goes through the crease into the near corner. Right back into the neutral zone, pulled ahead. Here comes Levinson down the near boards into the Spartan zone. Levinson avoiding traffic with a shot, and that covered up by Maddox. Right out in front, and it goes in. Maddox had it, but it fell away into the crease and went in. And Michigan with the early lead, 1-0 at 10:01. As it looked like Maddox had it from where we were sitting, but it popped free. It came through the crease and went in on the far corner. Just a weird happening there, and Michigan takes the early lead, and at 10:01. As we'll get the official scoring on that in just one moment. Face off at center ice. And between Nelson and Malashevsky. Lindahl down the near boards for Michigan. Lindahl trying to get it away from Campbell. Now Nelson trying to pull it away down the near boards. Dewar fires it all the way around the ice outside the far circle. Held in at the far point by Katie German. Proctor on the goal. Levinson on the assist, Proctor on the goal as that puck on the near circle. Here comes the Spartans as Campbell brings it over on blue line down through the neutral zone. Katie German has it at her own blue line, down the far boards over to Malashevsky, brings it into the Spartan net. And Knock firing it, trying to get to Campbell. That over on the near boards to Menderfield. And pulled down the far boards now. Here comes Michigan, right to center ice. Novell has it. Novell drifts back to her own blue line. Novell feeds it ahead. Here comes Menderfield. Menderfield centering attempt right through the slot. Now Kolwich gets it back into the neutral zone. Siciliano sends it down the near boards. Here comes Novell, who fires it deep into the Michigan zone. Right back behind the Michigan goal. Kolwich hands it down the far boards. Held in at the far point by Siciliano, and a shot and a save by Poneth. And puck brought ahead. Rubin fires it. That tipped all the way down off of Evans' skates. Collected by Siciliano outside the near circle in the Spartan zone. Now trying to fire it back deep is Gargiulo. Rubin has it in the near corner of the Spartan end. Rubin goes right back behind the Spartan goal underneath the far circle. Rubin centering attempt. Now Evans with a shot, and Maddox with the save. Mickelson has it and sends it out into the neutral zone. Kolwich quickly trying to set up the Michigan rush again as Rubin fires it deep into the Spartan end. Novell picks it up back behind the Spartan goal. Puts it back into the neutral zone forehand. Drifts back to center ice right along the near boards. Menderfield had it. Now back over to Novell for the Spartans. Novell gains the Michigan zone. Novell has that poke checked all the way back to the Michigan blue line. Simmer makes a move, trying to get past a pair of Spartans. Daniels knocks it down, takes it at her own blue line. Into the Michigan zone comes Daniels. Now Matthews trying to knock that away into the near corner. Pulled back by Menzer into the far corner to Leonard. Centering attempt, Matthews knocks it away. Back into the far corner, trying to pull it away from Leonard. Daniels in there as well. Proctor trying to get it out of the zone. Held in and a shot. Poneth with a save into the near corner. Menzer into the near corner again for Leonard. That off of Bryce's skate comes all the way around the boards outside the far circle. Proctor trying to get to it. Again held in by Dewar at the far point. And went off of a defender. Here comes Proctor down the neutral zone. Proctor into the Spartan zone on the far circle. Proctor comes in. Proctor with a shot. And deflected off the glass back behind the goal. Proctor sends it right back behind the Spartan goal. Picked up, coming down the far boards is Novell. Novell feeds it all the way through to the Michigan blue line. Now Izzy German down the near boards of the neutral zone. Izzy German ricochets it off the near boards. Right back behind Maddox. That puck into the near corner. Now bringing it ahead is McPherson. Racing through the neutral zone. Nelson for the Spartans has it top of the near circle of the Michigan zone. Blocker saved by Poneth. Nelson feeding it high. Slot. That shot just goes wide by Triolet. Now Swanson for Michigan down the far boards of her own zone. That held in at the far point. Picked up and fired into the neutral zone. Campbell has it right at center ice. Puts it right back into the Michigan zone. Menderfield hands it on the near circle with a shot. That rims all the way around the glass back to the far point where Novell holds it in. Novell outside the far circle puts it into the far corner of the Michigan zone. Novell centering attempt. Now feeds it top of the far circle. That slips back into the neutral zone where Anderson resets over to Triolet. Triolet fires it deep back behind the Michigan goal. Stopped there by Poneth. Fired down the near boards. Coming ahead with it is Lindahl. Lindahl for Michigan. Through center ice, trying to get around a quartet of Michigan State players as that puck loose into the near corner. Lindahl trying to chip it away. Santi trying to pull that away. Now Menderfield fires it all the way into the far corner. McPherson has it there. Mickelson backhands it into the neutral zone. And right back to the Michigan blue line, sent ahead by Levinson. Evans intercepts the puck right in front of the scorer's bench and gets it into the Spartan end. Mickelson on the near circle. 5:20 left to go here in the first. 1-0. Michigan with the lead. Evans trying to pull it away. Here comes the Spartans as Santi through center ice. Santi gains the Michigan zone. Gargiulo trying to battle Santi. That puck comes in along the end boards as that fired around by McCarthy and lifted all the way down the ice. The puck in along the end boards. Gathered up by Triolet, tipped away as the puck in along the near boards. Leonard has it for the Spartans and gets it back to the neutral zone. Izzy German from the Michigan blue line feeds it ahead, sent back deep into the near corner by Williams. Now gathered up, Daniels trying to get it out of the Spartan zone, and that'll come right to center ice. Matthews back into the Michigan zone, feeds it ahead. And Simmer battling, pulled in. Here comes Menzer. Menzer on the near circle of the Michigan zone, spinning with it, centering attempt. Novell has it in the slot. Novell loses the handle, picks it up back at the far point of the Michigan zone. Novell with a shot and a save by Poneth. 4:19 left to go here in the first. 1-0. Michigan with the lead. It was a Proctor goal that looked like Dixon had it, but it somehow managed to squirt free and end up in the goal. Early lead by Michigan. Spartans playing tough, keeping pressure on Michigan. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Malashevsky versus Nelson. That comes to Novell at the far point. Sent back onto the far circle of the Michigan zone. Right into the neutral zone. Novell fires it back deep into the near corner. Forehand. Right back behind the Michigan goal. Has it. Puts it down the far boards. Menzer puts it back deep as Malashevsky trying to pull it away. Goes right back behind Poneth. Puts it outside the near circle of the Michigan zone. Battle for it there as Lindahl pulls it ahead. Right off of Swanson skates. Held in. Now Lindahl through the neutral zone for Michigan. Starts the rush into the Spartan zone. As that chipped ahead. Novell gets it back into the neutral zone. Spartan puts it in as someone lost a stick. Back deep in the Spartan end. There's a whistle. And looks like that was a offsides call. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle just outside of the Michigan zone as the official goes and cleans up that blue stick back in the Spartan end. Gets it back over onto the Spartan bench. Now that's going to be Gargiulo winning the face-off. And sent down the near boards as McPherson firing it right back into the Michigan zone. Kolwich through her own slot, puts it down the far boards, backhanded deep by Goldman. Racing ahead, Christensen trying to get to it. McPherson back to the far point in the Michigan zone and into the neutral zone. Gathered up, Bryce feeds it to the Michigan blue line. Kolwich has it there, drifts back into her own slot, now sends it ahead. Here comes Cevallos. Cevallos, top of the far circle, shot. Maddox with the save. Into the far corner, Christensen trying to get it back to the far point. And puck battled for, put in along the end boards back in the Spartan zone. McPherson has it there. Puts it underneath the near circle for Dewar. Dewar feeds it ahead, is trying to pull it. Menderfield. Now here comes Proctor the other direction for Michigan. Proctor gains the zone on the near circle. Proctor into the near corner of the Spartan zone. Proctor has that puck pulled away, coming the other direction. Menderfield feeds it into the neutral zone. As Mickelson trying to get to it, collision there with Matthews. Now brought in deep. Menderfield has it into the far corner of the Michigan zone. Fires it back, top of the far circle with a shot and a save by Poneth. Novell into the near corner, pulls it back behind the Michigan goal. Knocked away by Matthews as the puck sent high slot. Now racing over Leonard with a shot. And puck all the way back to the near point in the Michigan zone. Held in, Novell has it for the Spartans. Shot, top of the near circle, she fires it in. As the Spartans score, able to get it just inside that far post. And the Spartans have tied it up. Novell puts it in at 2:05. And the Spartans have it tied up 1-1. These two teams tied 3-3 at the very first game of the season. They ended up going into overtime and not being able to settle it there. Face off right at center ice as they play the Spartans fight song. We'll actually play some of the Michigan State Marching Band music during the intermissions as well, supporting both teams. There's a shot by Swanson. I could not hear the assist, but Novell with the goal. As trying to get it, McCarthy puts it right back to center ice. Now Levinson back into the Michigan zone, bringing it ahead. Katie German. Now through the neutral zone is Malashevsky down the near boards. Malashevsky has it into the Spartan zone, feeds it into the slot. Backhanded shot by Swanson and covered up by Maddox. 1 minute, 28 seconds left to go here in the first. At the first intermission, we will play both teams' fight songs, and then we'll have our intermission ACHA scoreboard report. We'll talk about the rankings currently in the ACHA and the CCWHA. Face-off in the near face-off circle. And fired into the slot as Kolwich puts it. And deflected into the far corner. Now Gargiulo trying to pull it away. Rubin right back behind as it comes out. Penalty upcoming. That is going to be a hooking call with 1 minute 14 seconds left to go here in the first. As into the box goes Dewar for hooking, and Michigan will have their first power play of the game. Michigan scored at the 10:01 mark. Spartans tied it up at 2:05. Now Michigan on the power play with 1 minute 13 seconds left to go. Evans gets it into the slot, shot by Lindahl. As getting a stick on it was Triolet. Now over high slot for Katie German. Katie German with the shot. That saved by Maddox. The puck put right back behind the goal. 56 seconds left to go here in the first. Katie German again, high slot with the shot. That got deflected. Here comes a breakaway. Daniels trying to get to it. Daniels racing away, and getting in front was Rubin. Rubin into the far corner. As that puck brought ahead by Evans. Evans feeds it into the neutral zone, racing ahead. Here comes Swanson. Swanson into the far corner. Swanson feeds it right back behind the Spartan goal. 26 seconds left to go here in the first. Lindahl has it outside the near circle in the Spartan zone. Lindahl Backhands it over to Malashevsky. Malashevsky back to Lindahl. That comes back to the near point. Holding it, trying to hold it in with Levinson. Slips back into the neutral zone. Michigan will have to reset with 10 seconds left to go here in the first period. 1-1 is our score. Backhanded shot by Proctor. The puck comes all the way back to the near point, and that will do it for the first period. At the end of one, it is Spartans 1, Wolverines 1. And we will be right back. Let's play both teams' fight songs. And we'll be right back with your Intermission Scoreboard Report.
Stand and sing the greatest college fight song in the land, the MSU Fight Song.
Now it's time for our intermission scoreboard report here from Yost Ice Arena. It is 1-1 at the end of one. As taking a look, it was Michigan picking up a penalty interference to Evans at 19:25. Then Michigan scored as it was Proctor putting it in from Levinson at 10:01. Then it was a goal by the Spartans as Novell scored with a blast from the top of the near circle at 2:05, tying it up. Then a Spartan penalty as Dewar going off for hooking. That with 1:14 left to go. So Michigan will have a 46-second power play heading into the second period. Let's take a look at ACHA's scoreboard report. Back to last Sunday, it was Minnesota beating Lake Superior State 5-4. McKendree beating this Michigan State team 3-1. It was Michigan beating Concordia 5-1. University of Utah beat Wyoming 11-0, and it was Jamestown beating Lindenwood 2-0. Taking a look, I don't believe there was any midweek action here, but double checking just to be sure. As taking a look on Friday's action, it was Arizona State beating Colorado State 4-0. Grand Canyon beat Utah by a score of 6-4. It was Liberty beating Adrian College 5-2. Lake Superior beat Aquinas 2-1. It was Michigan State beating Grand Valley 2-1, and Lindenwood beating McHenry University 6-5. Action from yesterday. It was Arizona State beating Grand Canyon University 3-1. Colorado State University beat University of Utah 4-3. It was McHenry University beating Lindenwood, doubling them up 4-2. Michigan State Dearborn beat Grand Valley State in overtime 3-2. No score reported between Liberty and Adrian or Aquinas and Lake Superior State. Indiana Tech beat Marysville 3-1. They've been on a tear recently. And it was Midland beating Minot State University 6-2. Midland, the number 3 team in the land. Minot, the number 1 team in the land. We'll see if that continues after that game. Action today. Let's see if anyone has reported anything. It was a final in overtime, tied 1-1 between Midland and Minot State University. Everything else is happening later. Arizona State hosting Grand Canyon University and Maryville hosting Indiana Tech. Well, let's talk a little bit about these two teams, as Michigan is 19-4-2 on the season. Their last 5 games, they beat Penn State, swept Penn State in a pair of games at Yost Ice Arena. Then they fell to Adrian College in a 1-0 battle here at Yost, that back on the 29th of January. Then they beat Grand Valley State University in a home and away, beating Grand Valley 4-1 over at Griffs and beating them 5-2 here at Yost. And then last weekend on February 12th, Michigan beat Concordia 5-1. Little more about that game. As Concordia scored first in the first. They had the 1-0 lead going into the first intermission. Michigan scored 3 in the second and 2 in the third, as the first goal in the first was Shore scoring for Concordia, her 9th goal of the season. Orcas on the assist. Only one penalty in the first. That was to James for Concordia from tripping at 16:59. Then in the second, Swanson scored her 11th goal of the season at 2:58. That was from Malashevsky and Lindahl. Then at 14:57, Gargiulo scored her 10th goal of the season. That on the power play from Matthews. At 19:15, Malashevsky scored her 3rd goal of the season on the power play from Matthews as well, her 8th assist. Penalties in the second. Orcas went off for hooking at 2:40, as Schuyler went off for elbowing at 14:01, and Ruggiero went off for high sticking at 18:20. In the third, at 16:06, Lindahl had her 17th goal of the season. Katie German on the assist. That's a 3rd power play goal of that game. Proctor had a goal at 17:48, her 7th goal of the season. Simmer and Matthews on the assist. It was Mortimer between the pipes for Concordia, and Poneth getting the win for Michigan, facing 29 shots on goal, saving 28 of them. Mortimer had to face 47 shots on goal, save 42 of them. Michigan top 5 scorers. Lindahl has 25 points on 17 goals and 8 assists. Swanson has 18 points for Michigan on 11 goals and 7 assists. 17 points for Gargiulo on 10 goals and 7 assists. And then a tie at the number 4 spot, 15 points for Simmer, 7 goals and 8 assists, and 15 points for Matthews, 6 goals and 9 assists. Between the pipes, it's been all Poneth. She has 25 games played, 18-4 and 2. She has a 1.44 goals against average and a fantastic leading 9.50 save percentage. The Spartans are 8-11 on the season, their last 5 games. They lost to Arizona State in a pair of games, one at the Ice Den in Michigan back on February 3rd, and on February 4th they were at Mullet Arena and lost that one 8-2. They beat Davenport by a score of 9-1. They lost then at the 12th to McKendree University over at Munn. That was a 3-1 win by McKendree. Then they beat Grand Valley State 2-1 back on that last game on February 17th. In that game, for some reason I got the McKendree game out there. So let's talk about the leading scores for the Spartans. Benzer, number 19, leads the way with 20 points on 12 goals and 8 assists. Number 2 is Santi with 20 points on 9 goals and 11 assists. Number 3 is Novell, the person who has the Spartan goals so far in this game, 7 goals and 10 assists, now 8 goals. Flazar was with the team. She still holds the number 4 spot with 13 points on 2 goals and 11 assists. She's now a Michigan student and will join the Michigan team next season. And then tied for the number 5 spot, McPherson has 11 points on 5 goals and 6 assists, and Daniels has 11 points on 5 goals and 8 assists. Between the pipes, it has been predominantly Maddox playing 10 games. She has 4 wins, 5 losses, 2.59 goals against average, and a very solid 9.27 save percentage. Van Sokoma has played 7 games, 2.6 goals against average, and a 9.18 save percentage. And Osen has played 9 games, 3-2 on the season, 3.86 goals against average, and an 8.83 save percentage. Let's take a look at the next upcoming games for Michigan, as this is the final regular season game. We know they will be playing on Friday, February 24th at the CCWHA playoffs versus Grand Valley State University. That's a 5:30 game. We will have the entire CCWHA tournament at arborbroadcasting.com. Then, if Michigan is able to beat Grand Valley, they will play February 25th in a time to be announced. They'll be right around either 12:30 or 1 o'clock. Most likely, they would end up playing Indiana Tech University, but it all depends on who wins the games the night before. Then, if they were able to get past that very tough test, they would play for the championship for the CCWHA on February 26th. That would be on Sunday. Then the national tournament starts on March 16th over in New England. That will be on Thursday. And then if Michigan able to make the tournament, looks good so far, but we'll see. And then if they advance on the 17th, they would play at the national tournament as well. If we remove that, let's take a look at, speaking of the national tournament, at the ACHA Women's D1 standings, rankings. Liberty up at the top. They were number 1 last week. They're number 1 this week with 15 wins, 2 losses. Minot State University is number 2, although they just lost and tied to Midland this weekend, so we'll see what happens. They have 18 wins, 8 losses, 1 tie as of the rankings. Midland in number 3 spot with 22 wins, 5 losses, 3 ties. Indiana Tech staying steady at number 4, 24 wins, 4 losses. They were number 4 last week. Adrian at the number 5 spot, 21 wins, 7 losses. They were number 5 last week. No changes, by the way, in the top 10. Michigan checks in the number 6 spot, 19 wins, 4 losses, 2 ties. McKendree at the number 7 spot with 13 wins, 7 losses, 2 ties. And then Maryville at the number 8 spot, 12 wins, 12 losses, 3 ties. Arizona State at the number 9 spot with 15 wins, 4 losses, 2 ties. And Miami University at the number 15 spot with 15 wins, 8 losses, and 2 ties. Now, the big one coming up is the CCWHA tournament. Both Adrian has the number 1 spot in the East Pod. They have a bye to Saturday. Indiana Tech has a bye. They're number 1 on the West Pod. They have a bye to Saturday as well. Michigan has secured the number 2 spot. University of Michigan Dearborn is a single point ahead of the Spartans. Right now, it would be University of Michigan Dearborn, but if the Spartans are able to win this game, then it would be the Spartans in the number 3 spot. They would play Miami in the 8:30 game, so they need to win here. I'm not sure what a tie would do. I'd have to look up at the tiebreakers, as that would leave them tied with Michigan Dearborn. So Michigan State in that number 4 spot, Concordia in the number 5, and Penn State at the number 6. On the other side, it's Indiana Tech solidly at number 1, Miami at number 2, and Grand Valley at number 3, all locked in there. All three making the CCWHA tournament. Aquinas, Lake State, and Davenport following. But again, so far, Michigan versus Grand Valley State, that will be Friday, the 5:30 game next weekend from the Crystal Palace, or Crystal Fieldhouse. As we will have those games for you at arborbroadcasting.com. And it will be either University of Michigan Dearborn or Michigan State at the 8:30 game in the D1, as they will play Miami University. We are about to get going here in the second. 20 minutes up on the clock. Michigan will have a 46-second power play to start off as Dewar goes into the penalty box. Michigan going from right to left. Again here supporting Spartan Strong. All of the money for attendance goes to the Spartan Strong charity, as everyone getting together and supporting the entire community, the entire Spartan community after the tragic events of Monday. Michigan also wearing a sticker on their helmets with the Spartan logo in a green heart. And there was a moment of silence for the three victims who died of the tragedy, and we hope the other 5 folks who were injured, we hope they recover, and our best wishes go to the entire Spartan community. It was a beautiful moment during the moment of silence as both Wolverines and Spartans lined up at center ice, kind of interposing Wolverine, Spartan, Spartan. And we'll be playing a little Michigan State music throughout as well, trying to honor both of these fantastic universities and both of these amazing teams. Again, good crowd out here. The D2 team for the Spartans played over at Munn. That was a little earlier today. The Lansing Herald had the broadcast for that, as well as the game versus Grand Valley State on Friday. So we're getting ready to go. Again, Michigan going from right to left. Poneth going down to our right. Maddox to our left. Swanson in to take the face off. Nelson on the other side for the Spartans as we're ready for second period action. Live from Yost Ice Arena. 1-1 is our score. Swanson trying to pull it away. Now Evans feeds it back to the Michigan blue line. Over along the near boards. Here comes Rubin. Rubin through the neutral zone to Lindahl. Lindahl on the far circle. Lindahl comes in, goes back behind Maddox. Lindahl gets it to Rubin, top of the near circle in the Spartan zone. Now high slot for Katie German as that slips back into the neutral zone. Fired all the way down the ice by Campbell as Ponda tips it into the far corner. Rubin moves it right back behind the Michigan goal into the near corner. 17 seconds left to go in the Michigan power play as Evans brings it down the near boards through center ice. Campbell trying to knock that away. The puck loose right at center ice. Now bringing ahead Rubin into the Spartan zone. As 4 seconds left to go. Shot and a save by Maddox. 2 seconds left in the Michigan power play. 1-1 is our score here from Yost Ice Arena. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle. That to the right of Maddox. As Matthews in to take the face-off versus Daniels. That comes in along the near boards. Now backhanded shot by Matthews. Just goes wide. Simmer chases outside the far circle. That backhanded all the way down the ice by Menzer. Stops just underneath the far circle. Picked up by Levinson back behind her own goal. Spartans back to full strength. Dewar holds it in at the near point. That deflected off of Proctor. Coming down the far boards. Triole sends it to the Michigan blue line. Menzer trying to get deep as that puck on the far circle in the Michigan zone. Simmer trying to battle a pair of Spartans for it. And bouncing puck comes in as Leonard with a shot that just goes wide to the near side. Simmer coming down the far boards of Michigan zone. Feeds it ahead. Here comes Michigan down the far boards as Proctor trying to dump it in deep. Ends up putting it into the Michigan bench. Faceoff will be outside of the Michigan zone in the far faceoff circle. 18:30 left to go here in the second. 1-1 is our score. They're actually going to put it at center ice. Swanson again in to take the face off, or excuse me, that'll be Malashevsky in versus Menderfield. Down the far boards, Novell, the goal scorer for the Spartans, hands it down on the far boards. Trying to pull it away are the Wolverines. That chipped loose right at the far point in the Michigan zone. Lindahl trying to get away from Mickelson. And the puck down the near boards. Here comes Swanson. Swanson feeds it through center ice. Tipped away by the Spartans. Picked up by Swanson. Swanson moves it to Lindahl. Oh, trying to set it up over to Swanson and just out of her reach as she was coming in just to the near side of the crease. Swanson on the far circle in the Spartan zone. Trying to backhand it into the slot. That slips back into the neutral zone. Katie German moves it down the far boards. Forehand fires it deep. 17:48 left to go here in the second. 1-1 is our score. As that puck outside the far circle. Forehand holds it in the far point in the Spartan zone. That shot just goes wide back behind Maddox. Now into the near corner. Rubin backhands it in along the end boards. Trying to pick it up back there is Novell. Novell ahead to Mickelson. Mickelson sweeps it all the way back to the neutral zone. Katie German coming down the near boards. Katie German trying to avoid pressure. And pulled away. And fired all the way down the ice by Novell. Stopped and covered up by Poneth. 17:14 left to go here in the second. 1-1 is our score from Yost Ice Arena. Wonderful day game here, last regular season game. Let's come on out to the CCWHA tournament next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Lots of great hockey. It'll be D1 and D2 both. And coming down the far board, Simmer drops it back over to Kolwich. Kolwich trying to feed it ahead. Simmer gets it over on blue line. Right at center ice, pulled away down the near boards. Chipped away by McPherson, but Michigan intercepts. Now racing in, Campbell fires it, but offsides were the Spartans. That'll come outside of the Michigan zone. 16:53 left to go here in the second. 1-1 is our score. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Nelson versus Matthews as that puck. Dewar has it for the Spartans, back to her own blue line, fed ahead. Here comes Michigan as Proctor gains the Spartan zone. Proctor, top of the near circle with a rising shot that just goes over the crossbar. Simmer has it outside the far circle. Simmer trying to get it away from Dewar. Now Matthews in there. Campbell trying to chip away as the quartet tries to lever and pull it off of the board. Still continuing to battle, continuing to poke. Now coming in, Nelson comes away with it. Nelson back behind the Spartan goal. Down the near boards, Nelson gets it at Anderson. Anderson over on blue line. At deflected off of Simmer, right back to the Spartan blue line. Here comes McPherson into the Michigan zone. Her shot pulled away down the near boards by Kolwich. Now right to the neutral zone, intercepted as Daniels trying to pull it in. Kolwich moves it away. Here comes Lindahl into the Spartan zone. Lindahl fades over onto the far circle, into the far corner. McPherson trying to get to it. And tipped right through the crease, coming over into the near corner. Menzer has it as the puck. Malashevsky right back behind the Spartan goal. And trying to pull it away is Swanson. Into the far corner it goes. Pulled ahead by Novell. Tipped right back into the neutral zone. Racing at Menzer. That brought back the Spartan blue line. Tipped by Menzer into the Michigan zone. Loose at the near point. Michigan trying to get it out of the zone is Malashevsky. Menzer trying to put it deep. And gathered up by Izzy German into the near corner of her own zone. Gets it back to the near point. Held in by Triolet. Now intercepted by Lindahl all the way through the neutral zone. Lindahl brings it in for Michigan. In at the far point, loses the puck, but sweeps it deep back behind the Spartan goal. Triolet underneath the near circle. Triolet over to Daniels. Daniels gets it back into the neutral zone right in front of the Michigan bench. Rubin trying to pull it in. The puck loose now, coming ahead with it. Here comes Evans. Evans gains the Spartan zone, top of the near circle. Evans with a shot and a save by Maddox. As 14:52 left to go here in the second, 1-1 is the score. Spartans and Wolverines tied at Yost Ice Arena. Michigan trying to go into the CCWHA playoffs with a win. They would like to continue their win streak. Spartans trying to get a big win here to get the number 3 spot in the East Pod. As Gargiulo, top of the far circle with a shot that just goes wide. Dewar fires it into the far corner of the Spartan zone. Gargiulo outside the far circle. In along the end boards. Is that right through the crease? Moved away. Good job by Maddox to knock that away, and then sent ahead by Menderfield back into the Michigan zone. Katie German backhands it all the way back as it slips into the Spartan end outside the near circle. Dewar back behind her own goal now, stops, puts it down the near boards ahead to Mickelson. Katie German trying to keep it in. Gargiulo high slot in the Spartan zone, shot. That knocked away by Siciliano. Trying to get it to Simmer, now high slot for Katie German. That deflected out as Mickelson got it out into the neutral zone, and that'll be offsides as Michigan tried to pull it back in. But they hadn't cleared the zone yet. 14:04 left to go here in the second. 1-1 is our score. Face-off in the far face-off circle outside the Spartan zone. It's Nelson versus Matthews. The puck in along the far boards, forehand feeds it ahead to Simmer. Simmer gains the Spartan zone, knocked away. Good job by Novell to poke that away. Comes top of the far circle as Proctor comes outside the far circle. Shot, trying to move it over, and sitting just on the near corner was Matthews. Matthews now has it outside the near circle. Matthews into the near corner, over to Kolwich. Kolwich centering attempt. Poked away as Novell gets it all the way back into the neutral zone for the Spartans. Forehand, fires it all the way back in. Novell races right back behind Maddox. Banks it off of the near boards. As Kolwich trying to hold it in at the near point. Kolwich fires it top of the near circle. Here comes Proctor. Proctor in with a wrister and a save by Maddox. Nelson has it outside the near circle. Here comes the Spartans over their own blue line. Nelson gains the Michigan zone. Shot, good block there by Michigan as Kolwich got in the way. Nelson right back behind Poneth, pulled away by Matthews for Michigan. Matthews down the far boards over own zone, ahead to Swanson in the neutral zone. Swanson over center ice, gains the Spartan zone, top of the near circle. Swanson able to hold on to the puck, letting Michigan get a line change, trying to get it over to Lindahl as that moved into the near corner. Malashevsky trying to center it. Malashevsky underneath. Trying to get it to Lindahl as the puck comes and fired by Daniels into the far corner, pulling it right off the crease. Now that comes away into the slot, tipped by Malashevsky into the near corner. Leonard trying to fire it down the far boards. Now Lindahl digging into the near corner, trying to get it away from Dewar. Bryce has it top of the near circle. Backhands it. Lindahl pokes it, and a good save by Maddox as Lindahl tried to redirect it. Maddox got a glove on it all the way back into the near boards of the Michigan zone. Bryce trying to get it out. Leonard held it in. Now that fired all the way down the ice. That should be icing, and it will be. That'll head back into the Michigan end. 12 minutes left to go here in the second. 1-1 is the score between Michigan and Michigan State. Face-off will be in the Michigan zone in the near face-off circle. As Mickelson puts it outside the near circle, trying to hold it in with Siciliano, racing ahead. Here comes Lindahl. Lindahl back into the Michigan State zone. Lindahl comes over. Shot just goes wide to the near side. As the puck outside the near circle, Gargiulo has it, trying to fire it deep into the far corner. That grabs Siciliano, backhands it underneath the near circle, fired ahead, right into the neutral zone. Bryce puts it right back into the Spartan zone. McPherson back behind her own goal, coming down the far boards. McPherson gets it right to center ice. Here comes Mickelson. Mickelson gains the Michigan zone. Mickelson moves it into the slot. Good job, and they shoot. And puck loose all the way back to the blue line. As Siciliano trying to get to it and covered up by Poneth. Good shot from the slot. Poneth with the save, and the puck deflected off. Spartans got a couple good opportunities. 11-17 left to go here in this second. All knotted up at one apiece. Both teams playing their guts out here. Neither team wants to concede this game. Face-off is going to be to Poneth's right as she gets a lot of love from her team, as she deserves. Poneth has been absolutely incredibly steady all season long as McCarthy gets it ahead to Rubin. Rubin down the far boards of the neutral zone. Rubin dumps it deep into the end boards of the Spartan zone. That comes all the way outside the near circle. trying to pull it away. Lindahl trying to feed it ahead, trying to get it away from Radman. Lindahl over to Proctor. That comes on the far circle. Campbell trying to move it out of the zone. Proctor continuing to be a pest back there, trying to not let the Spartans get it out of the zone easy. Now back into the neutral zone. Lindahl feeds it right back in. Michigan touches up as Triolet has it on the near circle, feeds it ahead. Spartans all the way down the ice. That's stopped by Proctor. No icing there. Pulled back behind by Levinson, back behind the Michigan goal. Levinson into the far corner, trying to avoid pressure by Radman. And puck all the way outside the near circle of the Michigan zone now as Swanson trying to pull it away, battling Daniels. Trying to poke it away is Gargiulo in there as well. Still battling McCarthy, trying to pull it away from Daniels. Now comes right back behind the Michigan goal. Tip back behind McCarthy, loses an edge but fires it around the far boards. Here comes Simmer. Centering attempt. That ricochets off the near boards all the way back. Dewar has it on the near circle of her own zone, but gets it right to the Spartan blue line. Daniels fires it ahead as that will be icing and head back into the Michigan State end. 9:51 left to go. Here in the first, 1-1 is our score. A goal in the first by Michigan at 10:01 gave them the early lead. Spartans came back at 2:05 in the first, and we've been tied since then. Face-off in the near face-off circle. Malashevsky versus Daniels in the Spartan zone. Now Lindahl sends it high, slot over to forehand. Trying to fire it deep. Swanson trying to get it on the far circle. That bounces and slips back into the neutral zone. Forehand ahead down the far boards. Here comes Lindahl. Lindahl gains the Spartan zone. Lindahl has it poke checked away by Daniels. The puck loose on the far circle. Now Daniels pulls it into the far corner. Lindahl intercepts it, trying to feed it over to Malashevsky with the shot loose on the crease and covered up by Maddox. Good job by Lindahl to move it over Malashevsky. Spartan right in front of her managed to just get past it and fire the shot. Maddox with a fantastic save. 9:22 left to go. Here in the first from Yost Ice Arena, Michigan versus Michigan State. We'll have the full Michigan scoreboard report at the second intermission. The puck into the near corner. Rimmed all the way outside the far circle. Fired ahead by Novell into the neutral zone. Forehand trying to set it up now. Rubin puts it back deep into the Spartan end. Siciliano has it back behind her own goal. Gathered up down the near boards by Menderfield. Puck held in by Evans, backhands it deep. Gargiulo racing over for it. Siciliano on the far circle, or on the near circle. Kolwich trying to hold it in, but it slips just outside of the blue line. That'll be a face-off in the near face-off circle on an offsides call. 8:51 left to go here in the second between the Wolverines and Spartans. Gargiulo in to take the face-off versus Menderfield. As that puck right to center ice as Kolwich brings ahead for Michigan into the Spartan end. Kolwich on the far circle. Drop pass. Top of the far circle. Shot there. Goes high over the net into the near corner. Pulled back as Gargiulo sends it in along the end boards. Intercepted by Mickelson. Here comes Mickelson over on blue line ahead for the Spartans. Mickelson gains the Michigan zone. Fires it deep and along the end boards. Kolwich picks it up there trying to avoid the Spartan rush. Now Evans coming down the near boards of her own zone. Into the neutral zone. Fires it center ice. Rubin puts it deep into the Spartan end. 8:15 left to go here in the second. 1-1 is our score. The puck down the far boards. Sent back deep as that'll go into the Michigan zone, but that will be icing. It is fired from the Spartan end. 8:06 left to go here in the second. 1-1 is our score at Yost Ice Arena. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That to Maddox right. That's going to be Nelson versus Matthews in to take the face-off. Proctor to Matthews left. Pulled down the near boards as Triolet trying to get it out of the zone. Proctor holds it in. Proctor outside the near circle in the Spartan zone. Proctor into the near corner. Proctor feeds it over to Matthews. Backhanded shot. Good save by Maddox as Nelson has it on the near circle of her own zone. Nelson gets it into the neutral zone, fires it ahead. That is going to be icing waved off as into the near corner. Levinson picks it up underneath the far circle in the Michigan zone. Levinson feeds it ahead and slips past McPherson, trying to grab it in front of the Spartan bench. Matthews trying to grab it there as well. Now that fired by Campbell into the near corner of the Michigan zone. Gathered up by Izzy German there. Izzy German puts it down the near boards. Picked up there at center ice by McPherson. McPherson moves it down the far boards, and that's sent back deep. And along the end boards of Michigan zone, Izzy German again gets it to the Michigan blue line. McPherson holding it in, but here comes Matthews. Matthews moves it ahead. Michigan gaining the zone as Rubin has it outside the near circle in the Spartan zone. Rubin in there battling Menzer. Now Daniels trying to pull it off the boards. That comes in along the end boards into the far corner. Gathered up there by Siciliano over to Leonard. That comes center ice. Racing in. Here comes Menzer with a shot and a save by Poneth. 6:44 left to go here in the second. 1-1 is our score from Yost Ice Arena. And lots on the line today between these two in-state rivals. Michigan trying to keep their winning ways going. Spartans trying to get into the CCWHA playoffs, into that third spot on the East Pod. Coming down the near boards. Fired ahead into the neutral zone. Triolet has it. Ricochets it off the near boards. Now coming in. Here comes Redmond. Top of the near circle. And blocked and moved into the near corner by the Michigan defense. Swanson down the near boards of her own zone. Puts it through the neutral zone. Tipped by Lindahl. Lindahl racing over outside the far circle. Moves it in along the end boards. Lindahl underneath the near circle, and puck brought ahead. Here comes Novell over the blue line. Novell, the goal scorer for the Spartans, top of the far circle. Novell into the far corner, trying to pull it off of the boards. McCarthy lost her stick, poking away at it, and it comes all the way back to the far point. Shot there, sticked away. Now Swanson ahead to Lindahl. Lindahl down the far boards of the neutral zone. Lindahl one-on-one. Shot. That goes just wide to the near side. Upcoming penalty to the Spartans. 5:51 left to go here in the second. All knotted up at one apiece. Michigan goes on the power play. As a legal body check into the box goes Menderfield. Michigan will have the power play. Spartans on the penalty kill. Gargiulo in the near face-off circle in the Spartan zone. Nelson on the other side. Proctor plucks up the puck. Proctor, top of the near circle. Proctor now fires it high, slot over to Malashevsky, back over to Levinson. Levinson outside the near circle to Gargiulo. Gargiulo feeds it right through the slot, all the way into the neutral zone through some snow there right in front of the Michigan bench. Levinson pulls it back into the Spartan zone. Michigan on the power play. Levinson, top of the far circle, trying to avoid pressure by Nelson, puts it right back behind the goal over to Proctor. Proctor underneath the near circle in the Spartan zone, over to Gargiulo outside the near circle. Gargiulo, high slot, now moved over on the far circle, shot there into the slot, trying to pull it away. Gargiulo, top of the near circle. Gargiulo outside the near circle in the Spartan zone, shot, and glove down and saved by Maddox. 1 minute, 12 seconds left to go here in the Michigan power play. 5:03 left to go here in the second period. All knotted up at one apiece. Epic battle between these two teams. Like we said, they tied the very first game of the season 3-3. Swanson in to take the face-off. Now Rubin moves it high slot over to Katie German. Katie German, shot glove save by Maddox. 1 minute, 6 seconds left to go in the Michigan power play. 4:57 left to go here in the second. All tied up at one apiece. Face-off comes to Maddox left in the far face-off circle. Daniels versus Swanson. Underneath the far circle, Novell lifts it all the way down the ice, clearing it. Stopped by Poneth. Is pulling it back behind. Katie German sets up shot back behind the Wolverine goal. Now coming over to the near side, gets ahead to Evans. Evans down the near boards. Moves it over on the far boards to Rubin. Rubin outside the near circle. Rubin goes back behind the Spartan goal underneath the near circle. Rubin. High slot over to Katie German, now top of the far circle. Evans now over to Rubin. High slot again to Katie German. One-timer on the far circle by Evans. Comes outside the near circle into the near corner to Lindahl. Lindahl gets it over to Swanson underneath the far circle. Swanson Into the slot to Rubin. Back over to Swanson with a shot. It's saved by Maddox. The puck loose into the near corner. Swanson with it. Goes right back behind. 17 seconds left in the Michigan power play. A couple really nice saves by Maddox. Rubin, high slot, over to Katie German. Into the slot, tipped by Lindahl. Goes wide to the far side and covered up by Maddox. 6 seconds left to go here in the second. 1-1. Or 6 seconds left in the Michigan power play, excuse me. 3:57 left to go in the second. 1-1 is our score. As Michigan State Spartans giving lots of love to Maddox. Rightfully so. Nelson versus Matthews as Simmer trying to get the puck back to the far point. Kolwich has it there. Kolwich sends it outside the far circle. Shot deflects back behind by Dewar. Up into the far corner. Nelson trying to pull it away. That grabbed. Now here comes Matthews with a shot and a save by Maddox. Spartans back to full strength. 3:39 left to go here in the second. We are all even at one apiece. Now Nelson versus Matthews again in the far face-off circle. The puck outside the far circle. Matthews with it into the far corner. Goes right back behind the Spartan goal. Matthews into the near corner, pin there, pulled away by Cevallos. Cevallos on the near circle of the Spartan zone, back to Bryce at the near point. Bryce, and tipped loose, goes right back behind the Spartan goal. Williams trying to get to it. Comes away into the far corner. Dewar with it there now. Dewar moves it all the way around the near boards. Trying to hold it in. Bryce at the near point. Slips back into the neutral zone. Coming ahead with it, Cevallos. Back into the Michigan zone, then Cevallos gets it back over center ice. Cevallos into the Spartan zone. Cevallos, high slot shot. That goes just wide to the near side. Cevallos trying to get a backhanded attempt, pulled away by Menderfield. The puck loose in the high slot. Cevallos keeps it in. Puts it onto the far circle. Wouldn't settle down. Lindahl in along the far boards. Campbell trying to pull it away for the Spartans. Comes back to Kolwich at the far point. Kolwich fires, shot, saved by Maddox. The puck in along the far boards. Menderfield has it now underneath the far circle. Gets it over to Triolet down the far boards. Here comes the Spartans over their own blue line. Anderson knocks it off the far boards all the way back into the Michigan zone. Kolwich feeding it ahead to Lindahl. Lindahl has it knocked away. The puck loose along those far boards. Trying to get to it is Santi. Pulled back behind the Michigan goal into the near corner. 2:09 left to go. Here in the second. It's all tied up at one apiece. Here comes Malashevsky through center ice. Malashevsky gains the Spartan zone outside the far circle. Malashevsky into the far corner, trying to avoid pressure by Siciliano with a shot. Oh, that deflected off of a skate in the slot. All the way back into the neutral zone. Levinson trying to fire it back in. Now Rubin backhands it deep into the Spartan zone. Siciliano has it back behind her own goal, gets it over to McPherson down the far boards. Intercepted by Rubin on the far circle, and a shot got deflected. Siciliano got in the way. Top of the far circle, Siciliano has that pass intercepted, poked away from Rubin, right back into the neutral zone. Here comes the Spartans. 1 minute, 27 seconds left in the second. McPherson gets it over, shot! As Santi fired it from the slot. Now that puck loose on the near circle. Shot by Mickelson. And again, another save by Poneth. All the way back to the near point. Novell has it. As that now sent back into the neutral zone. Racing over to get it. Triolet has it at her own blue line. Ahead to Novell. Down the near boards. Novell. And intercepted by Evans. 57 seconds left to go here in the second. 1-1 is our score. Novell has it pulled away. Here comes Gargiulo. Gargiulo comes in. Shot saved by Maddox. Oh, a point-blank shot by Gargiulo. Maddox able to gobble it up and keep it tied 1-1 with 48.3 seconds left to go here at Yost. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That to the right of Maddox. In to take the face-off. Nelson versus Matthews. And puck loose on the near circle. Simmer trying to get to it. And pulled down the near boards. Here comes Nelson into the neutral zone. Gets it ahead. Coming in. That shot goes just wide by Santi. Back to the far point. McPherson with the shot. That got deflected through the slot. That poked ahead to Proctor. Proctor Moves it over. Here comes Ruben. Ruben through center ice. Ruben fires it deep as Maddox steers it to the far side of the goal. The puck in along the end boards. 18 seconds left to go in the second as Matthews trying to get to it. That fired ahead by Leonard all the way back into the neutral zone. 12 seconds left to go. Here comes Proctor. That tip back outside the near circle. Dewar trying to move it away. Here comes Katie German. Katie German backhands it. That deflects into the far corner by Nelson. And that will do it for the second period. 1-1 is our score as we remain tied going into the second. Let's play again both the Victors and the Spartan fight song, and we will be right back with your second period Michigan Intermission Scoreboard Report.
Stand and sing the greatest college fight song in the land, the MSU Fight Song.
And now it's time for our Michigan Intermission Scoreboard Report. Back to Monday, the 13th, as men's golf was 10th after round 2 at the Boulder Olympics. In men's tennis, Michigan beat number 6 USC 4-1. On Tuesday, February 14th, again, men's golf was 3rd of 17 at the Boulder Olympics. And in men's basketball, Michigan lost to Wisconsin 64-59. On Wednesday, women swimming and diving were at the Big Ten Championships. They were third after day one. By the way, that's where President Santa Ono is with the Michigan swimming team, and we appreciate his support of all the wonderful teams at this great university. Thursday, February 16th, again, women swimming and diving at the Big Ten Championship. They are third after day two. In ice hockey, Michigan ended up in a tie 3-3, losing in the shootout to Ohio State, number 10 Ohio State. In women's basketball, Michigan played number 2 Indiana at Indiana and lost 68-52. Yesterday, February 17th, Michigan remained third after day 3 of the Big Ten Championships in women's swimming and diving. In baseball, Michigan beat Fresno State 6-2 at the MLB Desert Invitational. In men's tennis, Michigan beat number 17 Stanford 4-2 at the ITA Indoor National Team Indoor Championship. In softball, Michigan fell to number 20 UCF 8-2 at the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational. In women's track and field and men's track and field, they were at the Silverton Invitational, non-scoring event. In women's lacrosse, they played and lost versus number 6 Stony Brook 17-10. In baseball, Michigan lost to Michigan State 15-8, and at the MLB Desert Invitational. In softball, Michigan beat the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana 7-6 at that St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational. And in women's gymnastics, it was postponed versus Nebraska. Today, a couple things already. Women's tennis beat Princeton 5-2, that was yesterday. Beat Princeton 5-2. Again, women's swimming and diving, they remain third in the Big Ten Championships. Women's track and field and men's track and field are at the Alex Wilson Invitational yesterday. Men's lacrosse beat Hofstra by a score of 11-10. In softball, Michigan lost to Oklahoma State 15-6 in 6 innings. In baseball, Michigan lost to UC San Diego 11-2. In ice hockey, Michigan lost at the face-off at the lake over at Brown Stadium. That was a 4-2 loss in the outdoor game. In men's tennis, Michigan beat number 5 Virginia 4-0 in softball. Michigan beat Mississippi State 5-4, and in men's basketball, Michigan beat Michigan State 84-72. Things happening already happened today. Michigan lost to Duke in softball 6-3. Michigan beat Harvard lacrosse 17-10, women's lacrosse. And that is all that has happened thus far today. You know what time it is. It is the third period or second intermission. So time for I Can't Turn You Loose.
Well, good afternoon and welcome once again to the Michigan Amphitheater. You know, so much of the music we hear today is this pre-programmed electronic disco. You never get a chance to hear master bluesmen practicing their craft. By the year 2006, the music now known as the blues will exist only in the classical record department of your local public library. And so, this afternoon, while we still can, let us welcome from Ann Arbor, Michigan, Gary Lewis and his blues band. Gary Lewis and his blues band.
Michigan back out onto the ice as we are about to get going for the all-important third period, all knotted up at one apiece right now. Again, upcoming is the CCWHA playoff tournament happening February 24th through 26th at Crystal Fieldhouse in Burton on Friday, February 24th at 5:30 p.m. University of Michigan Ann Arbor will play Grand Valley State University, and then at 8:30 Miami of Ohio will play either Michigan State or University of Michigan Dearborn. On Saturday, February 25th at 12:45 it will be Adrian College versus one of the winners from Friday's game, and at 1 o'clock Indiana Tech versus another winner from Friday's game. Then on Saturday the 26th at 9:45 a.m. is the D1 championship game. And we will have it all for you at arborbroadcasting.com. Let's go up to the top, click on the CCWHA. Face off at center ice, all knotted up at one apiece, 20 minutes up on the clock between Michigan and Michigan State. As coming down the far boards, Levinson fires it into the Spartan zone, but that fired right back in front of the Spartan bench. The puck pinned against the boards, now slid back into the Spartan zone. McPherson coming down the near boards, fires it, coming in. Here comes a breakaway as Menzer with it with that shot that just goes wide. That puck got caught in her skates for a few moments, but she got the shot away. While Leshevsky underneath the near circle in the Michigan zone. All the way in along the far circle is Swanson trying to get it out of the zone. Held in by Dewar, then sticked outside the near circle by Pontiff. Another shot goes wide, rimmed around the glass outside the far circle. Here comes Swanson for Michigan down the far boards. Over the neutral zone, that deflected off of the skate. Brought right back in by Menzer. Menzer with a shot, good block by McCarthy. That tipped wide all the way outside the far circle. Into the far corner, Novell. The lone goal scorer for the Spartans had it, backhanded ahead. Here comes Lindahl racing ahead with it. That slips back into the Spartan zone. Triolet fires it all the way around the boards outside the far circle. Katie German trying to hold it in there. Tipped as it comes outside the near circle. Triolet with it. From the near side to the far side, back behind her own goal. Triolet fires it down the far boards. Back out into the neutral zone. Michigan will reset at their own blue line. Katie German. Over to Gargiulo. Gargiulo lifts it all the way down, back into the Spartan zone. Now outside the far circle, Mickelson trying to get it back. Backhanded deep into the far corner by Rubin. Now Evans in along the board. She's pinned against the end boards by Triolet. Rubin trying to get to it. Evans poking away. In along the far boards, here comes Mickelson for the Spartans. Mickelson gets it out into the neutral zone. Backhands it ahead. Santi with it right at the Michigan blue line, but Michigan ricochets it off the near boards right back into the Spartan end. Siciliano has it down the near boards over her own blue line. Ahead for the Spartans. That deflects top of the far circle in the Michigan zone and moves right back to the Spartan blue line. Now here comes McPherson down the near boards into the Michigan end. And puck outside the far circle of the Michigan zone. Kolwich trying to move it ahead to Proctor. The puck loose. Flipped over to Simmer over on blue line. Here comes Michigan down the near boards of the neutral zone. Pulled away by Nelson. Nelson. And back into the neutral zone. Kolwich has it. That drifts back. Knocked off of the near boards ahead. Simmer had it. Here comes Nelson into the Michigan zone. Matthews trying to knock it away. Campbell trying to poke away. Campbell had it. Now Kolwich ahead to Simmer. Here comes Michigan. Simmer over center ice. Simmer gains the Spartan zone, but offsides as Proctor tried to hold up and just slipped across the blue line. 17:15 left to go here in the third. 1-1 is our score. Michigan State here at Yost Ice Arena, last regular season game, in a game where Michigan is showing a lot of support for the entire Spartan community. The puck back behind the goal. Now Spartans feeding it all the way. Triolet chases it back into the neutral zone, back to the Spartan blue line. Triolet down the far boards. That deflects right to the Michigan blue line. Now brought in. Here comes Menzer with a knuckleball shot, and that grabbed and covered up and gloved by Pontiff. 16:51 left to go here in the third. 1-1 is our score. Both teams really trying their best. They want to get that next goal, trying to break the tie and take the lead. Gargiulo versus Menderfield, that pulled back by Izzy German. She rims it all the way around the boards into the far corner. Triolet had it. Now Evans pinned against the boards. That shot right back in along the end boards of the Michigan zone. Izzy German into the near corner. Triolet underneath the near circle. That all the way out, slips into the neutral zone. Dewar chases back to her own blue line in along the far boards of her own zone. Dewar back on the Spartan end, feeds it forward and right to the Spartan blue line. Got caught in the linesman's skates. Now moved along the near boards, banked off of the near boards, coming ahead with it, Santi. Now here comes Mickelson into the Michigan zone, outside the near circle. Mickelson has it poked away as here comes Proctor. Proctor moved off of the puck, but gets it back. Proctor down the near boards in the Michigan zone. Proctor through the neutral zone. Proctor into the Spartan zone. Proctor has it tipped away, gets it into the near corner, trying to put it into the slot. That pulled back. Here comes Campbell the other direction for the Spartans. Campbell over to Menzer. Menzer high slot with a shot and a blocker save by Poneth. The puck outside the near circle. Matthews puts it right back behind the Michigan goal. Coming down the far boards, Katie German trying to hold it in. Siciliano, that skips past right into the neutral zone. Novell fires it, and that grabbed and covered up by Poneth. 15:31 left to go here in the third. 1-1 is our score. Now I'll have to look up what the tiebreakers are for getting in if it is a tie. Obviously, neither team would like it to be a tie at the end of the game, but that would put Michigan State with the same number of points as Michigan Dearborn. The puck in along the far boards as Daniels trying to pull it away. There's a shot. As good job by McCarthy to put it in along the near boards of the Michigan zone. Into the near corner. Menzer sends it right back behind the Michigan goal. Now coming down the far boards. Held in by the Spartans as it trickles right to the near point. Mickelson with a blast from the top of the near circle. All the way back over to Dewar at the far point. Dewar right into the slot, bouncing puck on that far circle into the far corner as McCarthy tried to knock it away. Now Menzer has it, puts it right off the side of the net and covered up by Poneth. 14:47 left to go here in the third. 1-1 is our score at Yost Ice Arena. Face-off is going to be in the far face-off circle. Spartans keeping pressure on the Wolverines, keeping it into the Michigan zone. Now Gargiulo versus Mickelson, the puck gathered up back behind. Here comes Kolwich over to Rubin down the near boards. Rubin moves it ahead, intercepted by Novell. Novell right back into the Michigan zone, right in along the far boards. Now putting it into the slot, pulled away. Here comes Michigan as Evans uses her body to protect the puck, get it back into the Spartan zone. Triolet over to Novell. Novell gets it to Michigan blue line. Quickly banked the other direction by forehand. Triolet on the near circle of the Spartan zone. Moves ahead to Santi. Santi down the near boards over on blue line. Santi has that knocked away by Simmer as they battle right in front of the penalty box. Pulled back by forehand ahead to Proctor. Proctor gains the Spartan zone. Top of the near circle with the shot. Blocker saved by Maddox. Now Simmer trying to fire it deep. Novell. Cross ice pass that deflects all the way back into the Michigan zone. Here comes Mickelson. Mickelson trying to get to it. Kolwich got to it first. Good foot race. Kolwich gets it ahead. The puck gathered up. Here comes Matthews. Matthews over to Proctor down the near boards for Michigan. Proctor trying to fire it over to Simmer. Then just out of her reach, the Spartans start to rush the other direction. Nelson back into the Michigan zone. Shot there and gloved by Poneth. 13:31 left to go here in the third. 1-1 is our score. As Malashevsky trying to take the face off versus Nelson. Shot deflected in along the near boards. Mickelson has it outside the near circle. Centering attempt goes all the way across outside the far circle. Anderson with the shot. Nelson right on the doorstep. Couldn't get the redirect. The puck outside the near circle. Campbell with it for the Spartans. Back to Mickelson at the near point. Shot. Good pad save by Poneth. The puck right at the far point. Now fired deep. Here comes Bryce. Bryce gets it to the blue line. Pulled out. Now Campbell fires it right back into the Michigan zone. Bryce into the far corner. Trying to avoid Anderson. Ahead to Swanson. Swanson to get it out of the zone right at the Michigan blue line. Now that pull back to center ice. Here comes Lindahl. Lindahl had that caught in a pair of skates. Lindahl gets it back from Izzy German. Lindahl, top of the near circle, moves it to Izzy German. Izzy German with that shot. Oh, that hit off of Swanson right out in front. As Swanson took it from about belt high and able to cover it up is Maddox. 12:38 left to go here in the third. 1-1 the score between Michigan and Michigan State. Daniels versus Gargiulo in the far face-off circle. The puck back to the blue line as McCarthy trying to hold it in. Triolet has it in along the far boards. Michigan trying to pull it right back in. The puck moves all the way in along the near boards, right at the Spartan blue line. Pulled away by Rubin. Rubin right back into the Spartan zone. And rimmed all the way around the boards outside the far circle. Evans with it there. Evans puts it right back behind the Spartan goal. Rubin chases it into the near corner. Rubin pulled off the puck by Dewar. Dewar sends it the other direction outside the far circle. Menzer trying to lift it out of the zone. Now Leonard again trying to get it out. Michigan able to hold it back in as it goes in along the end boards. Dewar right back behind her own goal. Puts it on the far circle. Tipped away by Gargiulo before going for a line change. Now Rubin trying to get it to Proctor. McCarthy in the high slot. That got deflected off of a Spartan coming the other direction. Here comes Menzer. Menzer into the Michigan zone. Menzer top of the far circle into the far corner. Menzer in along the end boards. Into the near corner. Here comes Matthews. Matthews leads the Michigan rush. Simmer over center ice. Simmer pokes it deep. Simmer on the far circle. Centering attempt. Proctor had lost an edge as the puck goes into the near corner. Matthews trying to dig it out of the near corner. Novell trying to move it out of the zone. The puck right to the blue line held in by Proctor. Proctor moves it into the near corner. Proctor centering attempt, pull back away. Here comes Santi with the Michigan State rush down the near boards of the neutral zone. Menderfield into the Michigan zone. Stop, covered up by Bonnet. 11:02 left to go here in the third. 1-1 is the score between Michigan and Michigan State. Face off in the near face off circle. That to Ponet's right. Nelson in to take the face-off versus Malashevsky. The puck in along the near boards is Campbell. Fires the shot, covered up by Bonnet. 10:57 left to go here in the third. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you for cheering on these two amazing teams full of excellent athletes. So lucky to have these fantastic teams to cheer for. Campbell centering attempt off the side of the Michigan goal. Forehand trying to pull it away. Now the puck loose. Good job by Swanson to pull it away from Nelson. Now down the far boards. It got caught in a pair of skates. Forehand has it in the slot. Ricochets it off the near boards ahead to Lindahl. Lindahl down the near boards, gains the Spartan zone. Lindahl on the near circle. Lindahl has that poke checked away outside the near circle. Now McPherson into the near corner. All the way back to the near point, held in by Katie German. Popped up high onto the near circle. And gathered up and lifted all the way down the ice. Skittering puck into the Michigan zone. Gathered up by Bryce into the near corner, trying to avoid Nelson. The puck got stuck in the near corner. Here comes Michigan as Lindahl down the near boards of the neutral zone, trying to get away from Novell. On the near circle, Swanson with it. Backhanded into the slot. Shot by Lindahl and a save by Maddox. Under 10 minutes left to go here in the third. All knotted up at one apiece. Here comes the Spartans as they ricochet it off of the far boards back into the Michigan zone. Michigan trying to move it ahead. Menzer has it, top of the far circle. Shot covered up and saved by Pontiff. 9:45 left to go here in the third. 1-1 is our score. Live from Yost Ice Arena. Face-off is going to be in the far face-off circle. And opponent's left, Daniels in to take the face-off versus Gargiulo. The puck in along the far boards, controlled by the Spartans off the side of the net, covered up by Pontiff. 9:40 left to go here in the third. Again, Daniels versus Gargiulo in the near face-off circle. Back to Daniels. Daniels moves it back to the far point, right through the slot into the near corner. Michigan trying to move it back into the neutral zone as that ended up into the stands. As they got a new puck from the scorer's bench, and then The fan threw it back on, so they threw the puck back to the scorer's bench, and the gentleman running the scoreboard bobbled it 5 times but caught it, which is infinitely better than I could do. Face off in the near face-off circle. Again, Gargiulo versus Manderfield. The puck, Manderfield into the slot. Good poke check by Evans to knock it away. Michigan gets it to center ice. Fired right back in by McPherson. Ricochets off the end boards. Just to the near side of the Michigan goal. Evans trying to feed it down the far boards. Evans gets it to the far point, but it's held in by Siciliano. Now on the far circle, here comes Izzy German. Izzy German lifts it down the ice. Racing ahead, trying to get it. Siciliano into the far corner. Icing waved off. Siciliano underneath the near circle of her own zone. Siciliano over her own blue line. Starting the Spartan rush. Siciliano into the Michigan zone. Here comes Izzy German down the near boards. Backhands it into the neutral zone. Here comes Proctor through center ice. Proctor into the Spartan zone. Poke checked away as Matthews fires it back deep as Michigan touches up. Dewar into the far corner for the Spartans. Takes it right back behind Siciliano. Moves it. That slides all the way back to the Michigan blue line. Bryce with it there for the Wolverines. Bryce down the far boards. That lifts all the way back deep. Icing waved off as picked up by Dewar right back behind the Spartan goal. Moved in along the near board. Simmer has it outside the near circle. Nelson trying to pull it away. Matthews digging in there as well as Dewar. That comes loose along the near boards. Here comes Simmer. Simmer outside the near circle. Simmer into the near corner of the Spartan zone. Simmer goes back behind the goal. Now Nelson feeds it down the far boards. Held in by Bryce at the far point. She puts it back deep. Simmer trying to grab it back behind the Spartan goal. Now here comes Dewar ahead to Campbell. Michigan gets a line change. Spartans. Nelson has it. That pulled away. Coming in Malashevsky. Malashevsky top of the far circle. Over as Swanson with a shot that just goes wide into the near corner. Swanson and Dewar stuck into the near corner. Malashevsky trying to pull it away, battling with Nelson. Now Swanson digging. Dewar had it. Still loose, caught in a pair of skates as they continue to battle. Back behind, Malashevsky underneath the far circle. Gets it top of the far circle to Kolwich, intercepted by Campbell. Swept right back in by Michigan, but they have to touch up to avoid a delayed offsides. 7:16 left to go here in the third. Michigan 1, Michigan State 1. Lindahl has it at her own blue line ahead to Swanson. Swanson back to Lindahl. Michigan with the puck in the Spartan zone. Lindahl back behind the Spartan goal, underneath the far circle. That deflects all the way back to the near point. Right at center ice. Swanson trying to move it ahead to Lindahl. Lindahl gets tied up with Daniels before sending it deep and then going for a line change. Dewar back behind the goal. Gargiulo chasing it. Leonard backhands it right to center ice. Pulled and coming in with it is Evans from Michigan into the Spartan zone, into the near corner. Novell back behind the Spartan goal. Novell coming down the far boards. Rubin pulls it away. Rubin underneath the far circle. Wide angle shot. Pops up high in along the end boards. Gargiulo back over to Proctor. That came off of the side of the net. Right back behind. Dewar underneath the far circle. Gargiulo trying to grab that. The puck high in the air. Dewar outside the far circle in the Spartan zone. Held in. Shot. That goes just wide. The puck on the near circle in the Spartan net. Picked up by Novell. All the way back out to center ice. That tipped. Good job, but not getting a stick on it was Menzer. And that will be icing all the way back into the Spartan zone. 6:03 left to go here in the third. 1-1 is our score. If we go to overtime, we'll have 3-on-3 hockey for overtime. Neither team would like to get there. They'd like to finish it off in regulation. As Matthews versus Daniels into the far corner. Dewar moves it down the far boards. Daniels gets it ahead. Now lifted all the way down by Menzer. Racing Katie German into the near corner, trying to pull it away from Leonard in the Michigan zone. Leonard shot off the side of the Michigan goal, covered up by Pontiff. 5:45 left to go here in regulation. 1-1 is the score from Yost Ice Arena, Michigan State. All tied up. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle. And to Pontiff's right. As the puck outside the near circle, brought ahead by Lindahl into the neutral zone. McPherson puts it back deep into the Michigan end as Bryce pulls it back behind the Michigan goal. Bryce underneath the near circle. She's pulled off the puck. Good job by Katie German to stop Mickelson's centering attempt. The puck into the far corner. Trying to move it ahead is Malashevsky. Deflected off of a Spartan skate, loose right at the Michigan blue line. Mickelson chasing it. Backhands it outside the near circle. As that's pulled off into the near corner. Mickelson trying to move it back to Santi. Now over to McPherson. Top of the near circle and covered up by Ponith. I'm not even sure Ponith saw it. Cross-checking coming up as it looks like Bryce goes into the box for cross-checking. And Michigan will be on the penalty kill with 5:04 left to go. Huge penalty kill here for Michigan. Big power play for Michigan State as that's fired all the way down the ice. Michigan, by the way, on their power play, Michigan on the penalty kill is 91.6%, as their opponents have had 83 power plays and only scored 7 goals. Spartans on the other side are 13.2% on the power play, having 91 chances and scoring 12 goals. Spartans move it through center ice. Campbell gains the Michigan zone, top of the far circle. It's Kolwich trying to move it away. Kolwich pinned against the boards, trying to dig Triolet back behind the Michigan goal. Triolet directly behind Ponith into the far corner. Kolwich has it. Kolwich trying to dig it off of the boards. 4:20 left to go. Now here comes Izzy German. Izzy German ricochets it off the far board. Simmer trying to get to it. Novell puts it back outside the far circle. Izzy German pinned against the boards as Campbell trying to pull it away loose. And centering attempt blasted all the way down the ice by Kolwich, and the Spartans will have to regroup. 55 seconds left to go in the Spartan power play. Under 4 minutes left to go in the third. As Matthews has it back behind the Spartan goal. Pulled away down the far boards. Here comes Menzer. Menzer all the way down as McPherson comes in. McPherson with a shot that just goes wide. As Evans gets it back out into the neutral zone, but a penalty, a hooking call. And there's going to be a 36-second 5-on-3 for the Spartans. As into the box on a hooking goes Katie German at 3:40. So 36 seconds of 5-on-3. And then 1 minute, 34 seconds of 5-on-4, barring anything else happening. So Spartans with a 5-on-3. That grabbed and fired all the way down the ice by Levinson. Excellent job by Levinson. Maddox stops it. Back behind her own goal, Leonard has it. Leonard in the Spartan zone. Ahead to Siciliano. Siciliano dumps it deep into the Michigan end. That is going to be icing as it was fired from the wrong side of center ice. 17 seconds left to go in the 5-on-3. 3:21 left to go in the third. Spartans with the 2-player advantage for 17 more seconds. Face off on the far face off circle. Gargiulo versus Nelson. This is a huge face off as Nelson moves it ahead. McPherson through center ice for the Spartans. McPherson rockets a shot. That comes all the way outside the far circle. Gargiulo trying to tip it away. Leonard had it, now into the near corner. Levinson lifts it all the way down the ice, and the first penalty has expired. Back to 5-on-4 hockey for 1 minute 20 seconds left to go. 1-1 is our score. Michigan and Michigan State all tied up. Leonard at center ice for the Spartans comes into the Michigan zone. Leonard, top of the near circle. Leonard goes back behind the Michigan goal, underneath the far circle, trying to put it out. Shot as it's loose, comes all the way back, top of the near circle. Menzer couldn't get a stick on it as the puck in along the near boards. Bryce trying to backhand it ahead as the puck slips back into the neutral zone. 53 seconds left to go on the Spartan power play. As Santi had it right at the far point, holding it in is Novell. Novell over top of the near circle coming in. Menzer with a shot and a save by Ponith. 2:21 left to go here in the third. 41 seconds left to go in the Spartan power play. 1-1 is our score. Huge CCWHA points on the line, especially for the Spartans. As that puck into the far corner, Evans rocket blasts it to the point. That slips back into the neutral zone. Novell over to Triolet. Triolet into the Michigan end. And stopped by Poneth. Kolwich has it back behind her own goal. Kolwich sends it to the blue line. High slot. Blast there by Novell. That got blocked by a Wolverine. Top of the near circle. Menzer with a shot that just went wide. 1 minute 57 seconds left to go in the second. As 13 seconds left on the power play as that shot just misses the near post. Here comes Michigan down the near boards. Through the neutral zone ahead. Here comes Evans. Evans centering attempt trying to get to Swanson. Evans is down as Evans is not moving on the near circle. She is slow to get up. She is moving, so we are very, very grateful that she is moving. Penalty has expired to Michigan as both teams back to full strength, but Evans collided top of the near circle in the Spartan zone as her stick went one way and she collapsed on the ice. She moved a little bit, which is good to see, but she is still down on her side, and we are holding our breath, hoping that she is all right. As you love to see athletes for your squad play as best they can and play their guts out, but you really, really don't want to see any one of these amazing athletes injured. Now the trainer taking a look at Evans as 1 minute 57 seconds up on the clock. As Evans is being attended to, she now turns on her back, which is good to see. Flanked by Proctor, Rubin, and Swanson, as a number of Spartans have taken a knee, a number of Wolverines have taken a knee, including, by the way, the Spartan goalkeeper Maddox. In a time where both of these communities are trying to help support each other through some trying times, it's good to see the good sportsmanship by both of these teams. As Evans is sitting up and she gets to her skates, we are very, very happy to see that. Evans slow to come off the ice, but she's only getting a little bit of help by Proctor. So we hope Evans will be all right. Huge, big player for Michigan, and no matter what role you play with the team, we don't want to see any of these players hurt. Swanson helping the trainer over to the bench. Face-off comes outside the Spartan zone in the near face-off circle. As Rubin was talking to the official. Now Malashevsky in to take the face-off. As Menderfield on the other side, the puck in along the near boards. Lindahl over to Bryce. Bryce ahead to Swanson, who backhands it into the Spartan zone. McPherson trying to get it out of the zone. Malashevsky trying to hold it in. The puck in along the near boards of the neutral zone. Here comes Swanson. Swanson into the Spartan zone. Drop pass. Nobody home, so Michigan has to regroup. They touch up. Levinson trying to avoid Spartan pressure. Ahead to Lindahl. Lindahl now comes in. 1 minute, 12 seconds left to go. Shot goes wide. Outside the near circle. Swanson with it. Swanson into the near corner. That rimmed all the way around the boards. Levinson at the far point. Malashevsky trying to peel it off of the boards outside the far circle. As under a minute left to go, 56 seconds, all the way back right in front of the Michigan bench. Fired ahead by Bryce as that puck in along the near boards. McPherson fires it, that tipped by Santi back deep into the Michigan end. 42 seconds left to go here in regulation, all knotted up at one apiece. As trying to move it ahead was Malashevsky, and that's a tripping call coming up. As Michigan will have a power play. As Novell, the Spartan goal scorer, goes into the box for tripping with 33.6 seconds left to go. I believe that penalty does carry forward into overtime if we make it to overtime. It would be 3-on-3 hockey, so if one team had someone in the box, it would end up 4-on-3 hockey during the overtime. As both teams talking things over, I believe Michigan took a timeout. And Michigan would love to win this game and go in on a winning streak into the CCWHA playoff. The Spartans 1 point behind University of Michigan Dearborn. As if we make it 33 seconds, and if the Spartans don't win in overtime, I'll have to look up the tiebreaker rules. Swanson in to take the face-off versus Nelson on the near face-off circle. As that puck into the near corner, Swanson over as Evans out there. Good to see Evans out there. Evans on the near circle moves it, firing through the slot that comes all the way back. 21 seconds left to go. As that picked up by Katie German, who blows a tire and ends up losing an edge and putting the net off of its moorings. As she just lost an edge and slid right into the net. That was obviously not what she was planning on doing because she didn't want to lose the puck there. 14.8 seconds left to go. Face-off in the Michigan zone. Wolverines on the power play, but Nelson on the puck. Now Michigan moves it ahead. Siciliano at center ice. 5 seconds left to go. As Triole has it back. 2 seconds, 1 second. And the Spartans pick up a point. There is a Spartan down. Nelson, who took the face-off, went down into the face-off circle. And Poneth calling people over to take a look at Nelson. As we are going to go to overtime. And we hope Nelson's all right. Again, that was right off of the face-off. It kind of, I'll admit, my bad. I thought that she had kind of gone down to kind of try and cover up the puck. But she was injured, and she is helped off of the ice, and we... And there is a Michigan player into the box for... As a Michigan player into the box, as now they're counting down the penalties. They're going to have a 2-minute break between these two, and then they'll put the penalties back up as they're figuring them out. I'm going to assume that we'll take a look. They'll put whoever it is into on the board for a moment. Let's play a quick Victors and come back here for overtime, as there'll be 2 players in the box, so I think it'll be 4-on-4 hockey. Or no, it'll be 3-on-3 hockey, and when someone comes out of the box, it'll be 4. So slashing the call on the Michigan player in the box. As penalty Michigan for slashing. That was right as time expired. So we'll see exactly how much they'll be right at 0.00. As let's play a quick bit of the Victors. So fantastic information. Thank you very much for Tyler Pace for letting us know that University of Michigan Dearborn has the tiebreaker. I apologize for not looking that up beforehand. But University of Michigan Dearborn holds a tiebreaker. So this is a must win for the Spartans. Otherwise, they do not get to continue their season to the CCWHA playoffs. As we will have 3-on-3 hockey, 2 players in the box. Yeah, 2 players in the box. That's going to be Evans on the slash for 2 minutes. Then they'll have 1 minute 26 seconds for the Spartan penalty, as that was to Novell. So when Novell gets out of the box, it'll become a 4-on-3 for the Spartans until the Michigan penalty expires. Then it'll be 4-on-4 until the next break, where they'll move back to 3-on-3. Rubin fires it deep into the Spartan zone. Again, must win for Michigan State to move on to the CCWHA tournament and play Miami of Ohio next Friday night. Proctor has it for Michigan into the Spartan zone. Proctor outside the far circle. Proctor pinned against the boards. Picked up by Santi. Loose now. Santi has it on the far circle. Santi fires it ahead. And fired right back in. I think Michigan has to touch up to avoid a delayed offsides, and they do. Here comes Santi. Moves it over to Dewar. Dewar down the far boards. Dewar into the neutral zone, into the Michigan zone. That tipped into the near corner. Well, first game they played against each other, first game of the season, was overtime as well. They couldn't settle it there. We'll see if they can get a result other than a tie here in this game with 4:09 left to go here in the overtime. 30 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey before the Spartans have a power play as Proctor trying to bring it into Spartan zone, poked away there by Siciliano. Siciliano, top of the near circle, goes over her own blue line. Siciliano ahead into the Michigan zone. Siciliano, high slot, now top of the far circle. Siciliano is trying to get over, and puck outside the near circle. Racing over to get it is Nelson. Now Lindahl outside the far circle in the Michigan zone. Spartans now with the 34-second power play. Michigan has it deep in their own zone, coming down the near boards. Now that rifled all the way down the boards by Gargiulo. 24 seconds left in the Spartan power play. Quickly ahead to Daniels. Daniels over on blue line. Lindahl trying to steal it away. Leonard into the Michigan zone. Leonard outside the near circle, into the near corner. And centering attempt knocked away by Lindahl. Lindahl moves it down the near boards out into the neutral zone. Lindahl coming ahead into the Spartan zone. Lindahl on the near circle. Dewar trying to use her body to knock that away. Now that comes all the way into the far corner. Michigan back to full strength. Is that puck down the far boards. Here comes Novell. Novell right at center ice to Daniels. There's 4-on-4 hockey until the next whistle. And then it'll go to 3-on-3 hockey. Ahead through the neutral zone. Here comes Evans. Evans into the Spartan zone. Evans, high slot. Evans moves over to Swanson. Swanson with the wrister. Save! As good job by Maddox. Swanson blows a tire and outside the near circle. Here comes the Spartans. Held in. Daniels gets it to the neutral zone. Racing ahead is Campbell into the Michigan zone. Campbell top of the far circle. That shot into the near corner. 2:17 left to go here in overtime. Malashevsky ahead. Malashevsky as that puck in along the end boards. 2:11 left to go in overtime. The puck all the way back to the Michigan blue line. Now coming ahead. Levinson moves it ahead to Matthews. Matthews moves it down the near boards. Matthews on the near circle of the Spartan zone. Shot blocker save by Maddox coming over. Malashevsky back behind the goal. Malashevsky feeds it into the slot. That pulled down the far boards. 1 minute 47 seconds left to go in the overtime. Picked up. Spartans need a win to get to the playoffs. Pulled away. Loose. In along the far boards is Santi trying to pull it away. Now here comes Matthews from Michigan. Matthews has that poked away. 1 minute 30 seconds left to go in the overtime. Into the far corner. Menzer with it. Menzer back to the far point to Novell. Novell with a blast and she scores. As Novell puts it in. Novell scoring both goals for the Spartans. Both from the far point and able to get to the playoffs is Michigan State with an overtime win with 1:18 left to go. Novell, I believe, Poneth was screened and did not see it coming. And Novell with the unassisted goal at 1:18 in overtime sends the Spartans to the Crystal Fieldhouse in Burton. At 8:30 on Friday, they will play Miami University. We will have that game for you at ArborBroadcasting.com. Michigan plays Grand Valley State in the first game at 5:30 for D1 action. We will have both D1 and D2 action for you. As for my camera person, Christina Wiseman, my name is Mark Wiseman. We'll play the yellow and the blue and the Spartan Michigan Shadows here to end things up. So let me find that. Here we go. So yellow and the blue first, then Michigan Shadows, then the victors. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations to Michigan State, who advances to the CCWHA playoffs, and again, to the entire Spartan community. We Wolverines and everyone in Michigan stands with you during this tragedy and really gives you as much support as we can, and we all stand Spartan strong. Thank you, and good night.